because I was a little bit younger than you, Shawn. I was 17, so
Right.
yeah, and been injured longer. So, but it does seem like wow when I hit that, and then now it's almost like 50 plus 50 again. I'm Bobby Rohan. I'm C56 as along with Shawn, my friend here, and I'm living here in um, Southern California, Huntington Beach, Fountain Valley area. So if you're from this area, shout out to you and love meeting new people. I just met somebody today from my neighborhood, and he's a little bit older, MS, and which is hey, he has a disability, and him and his boys hang out, and I'm like, hey, I'm retired, let's hang out. So
Nice.
always nice when you can find somebody to hang out with. So hang out, and it's gosh, um, now I threw me for a loop. You always going to say something to you. Oh, you opened up, and just looking at you, Shawn, now in a bigger picture, you're reminding me, and I want to go see this movie on Christmas Day, but I don't want to go to the theaters on Christmas Day. But the Bob Dylan, you're starting to, put on some glasses. The way you got your hair down, your little beard going on, your thin face. You're giving me a little bit of a Bob Dylan. So let me know, Grandma, Mickey, Andrew, Leah, is it a little bit of a Bob Dylish, Bob Dylan? And I don't know if everybody knows who that is, but let me know if you're giving me that Bob Dylan vibe, and I love it.
All right, I'll take it. That's cool. Bob Dylan's cool.
I like it.
And yeah, my hair has definitely gotten it's pretty long right now, and but I do want to get a cut, but I'm in not a huge rush because now that it's cold, I don't mind the little extra on the back of my neck and over my ears. I'm like, that's actually it's not too bad there. Having that little extra warm mop on my head.
Yeah,
uh,
I hear you. I hear you. I wish I could do the same, but it wouldn't look as pretty as yours.
well, and I'm just holding on to it for a little longer because I don't think I have too many more years left of having much hair on the top of my head. So,
Andrew's like, I've heard of Bob Dylan. No, he's a great poet of singer in the United States. So definitely check out some of his music. My
well,
wife and I.
I feel like music is really international. Like it's, well, I mean, I'm
Mhm.
sure there are some people more popular in, in certain areas, but I feel like music definitely crosses all borders and languages, everything. Like so especially some of the classic stuff, like some Bob Dylan stuff.
Yeah, yep, yep. It's not. Some of it is like, woo, little too out of there for me. But yeah. So let's get on with our topic, and we got the chat rolling. Love seeing Andrew, Leah, our of course, our girl, and Jay. Love watching you compete, Bobby. Yeah, we can talk about that a little bit later. I'll bring up what I did over the weekend. Mickey, love you. Hope you're getting better. Andrew, much prayers. Hope this surgery, and glad you're finally getting some answers and about to. If I saw it up, I'm gonna have to scroll up. Sorry. If it said you're having open heart surgery following a heart attack, um, I don't know if you're waiting for a new heart. I know you're just there, um, so hopefully you're getting better. But let's talk about and so Andrew, you're in the hospital. Um, and hopefully everything's going well. We're missing, just before we get on to our topic, I just got a text message. Tom is in the ER right now, or getting out of the ER. So um, we weren't sure where he was early this morning and wasn't able to message. So hopefully he's out and doing much better. Probably, I know he's been dealing with a UTI. So also, much wishes out to you, Tom. Yeah, so maybe take a look at that. So, Shawn, insurances, he's in the ER, Andrew's in another country, but let's see where we can relate and um, getting insurances straight. And it's not an easy thing to manage. And I know myself, I don't know jack about it, and it is so confusing. And I'm sure, Shawn, for you, it is the same way. And it helps when you have somebody helping you out, and because there's so many different plans out there, so many different, if you're on Medicare or Medi-Cal, there's so many different plans they try to talk you into, and you can be talked into this plan that looks like it's amazing, and then you get into it, and all of a sudden you notice you don't have your doctors, you don't have the same supply company you want to use, you can't get anything. Is that right, Shawn? I think you've mentioned that you
Yeah,
just recently went through this last year, right?
that did happen to me in 2023. I
Okay.
had switched over. One of my friends from rugby, Dell, who we've had on the show once before, um, was all about the Medicare Part C plans, the like the Medicare Advantage plans, and they like you see commercials for them all the time. And like one of the benefits of them was you get the Silver Sneakers program, which gives you free gym memberships at like any gym membership you want to go to. And so, based on solely that, I'm very uninformed and kind of dumb. I just went with it. I switched my plan to a Medicare Advantage plan. Um, got myself a gym membership to Planet Fitness and was going to the gym with Dell, and then realized that, oh, my doctor doesn't take this insurance. Oh, mobility professionals, my supplier doesn't take this insurance. So
For
I
like
can't get a
all
new
for a
wheelchair in this calendar
$35.
year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all for like maybe a $45
no,
membership
it's like
per
20
month.
bucks a month. Yeah, I
Oh my
literally saved like
God.
20. There's nothing. So,
Yeah.
so
And hold on. Let's really break it down, Shawn. So somebody told you about you can get on this silver sneakers
yeah.
and what you can save on a gym membership. And you got excited. And
And and I honestly
and
thought that it would be pretty much the same as my other one, just
right.
with extra. But yeah, go
With,
ahead.
with something extra. And here's the key thing, and not to go, Shawn, and I'll be blunt, and Shawn, and I know you and I can say this, you dumbass, did you not check with everybody else before
No.
you? Yeah. And so
Uh,
we who don't know, and trust me, Shawn, I'd probably do the same thing. I'd probably, and and I have something a little bit different. It's called, I have a marriage of 20 years of a wife who manage insurances all day. I don't know why I can't say that word today, insurance, all day long. Like that's what she did for a living. Like she knows who can get qualified to come into, because she worked at a doctor's office, surgeon, and she knew about how insurances work. So she's always guided me. And I probably, if I didn't have her, I've been right with you, Shawn, right with you. It's just like, sign me up, whatever. Oh, wait, now I can't see my doctor? Yes. So this is a little bit of a problem that we fall into, that we think we're going to get one thing and we get another. And Mickey has a great program. And Mickey, I'd love for you to talk about your program. Seems like you're happy with it. And I would love for you to 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 message about your program and what makes it good for you, Mickey, because that's really what I think we need to know about our medical plan. So I'm sorry, Shawn, and you were talking about, so now you're all screwed last year, right?
yeah, so I was pretty much screwed, and I eventually did get it changed over. But during that period, I could not see my urologist. I could not see my regular doctor, or I had to switch and find a new doctor out here. And the doctor that I had went to was not through the Medicare Advantage. I just didn't really like the first one that I went to. They reassigned me a new one, and that guy has been actually great. Even when I switched back to standard Medicare, I've kept him, and he's been really good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that was a major problem. I couldn't get any equipment. I couldn't get anything ordered through the insurance. Like, so I pretty much was screwed. I had a gym membership, and that's about it. So it really,
How many times did you use your gym membership?
honestly, probably a couple dozen. At like, I probably, and it was mainly it was the first part of the year, anyways. It was when I was kind of training and working for doing the I did this like peer to tour to peer, and it's like a hand cycling. It's a fundraiser for like a pancreatic cancer and a couple different cancer research things. That Our friend Tarina from Triumph, she's a pair. She kind of like got involved with, and she set up like an adaptive team. So we have like 5 or 10 riders depending on how many like bikes they have set up for us. Um, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get in shape for hand cycling. And that's the one thing I will shout out. I would just pay the $20 for Planet Fitness membership now. But Planet Fitness does have an adaptive hand cycle in like every one of their gyms. So they do have hand cycles that you can just roll up on your chair in, strap to the cycle and roll and ride. So that was the main reason I was going, was because I had a stationary, like a hand cycle I could train on. Um, but so I will say that was awesome. I did like that, but not worth that. I would have much rather just kept my insurance and paid. And I honestly, like you said, Bobby, I've never known or paid a lot of attention to the insurance. I just kind of was like, all right, yeah, whatever. Insurance, like it just kind of rolled over. I got screwed one other time too when I tried to switch my Medi-Cal to LA Care from the standard Medi-Cal when I was in
Yeah.
LA County, and the same thing. The LA Care wouldn't cover anything for me. Like they just were like pretty much denied on all anything that had to be covered by my
Yeah.
Medi-Cal.
Yeah.
Uh,
And we're talking US. So today, unfortunately, is more for our US viewership. I mean, we had Paul last week and from Canada, and it is a different breed, but obviously, Andrew, sorry, we're not touching you or anybody who's overseas, over the pond or any other countries. Every country works so different. And then not only that, every country works different, every state works different, every county works different. And what we're really talking about is the LA County, Los Angeles County to California County, or state, I should say. Not We're not a county, big state, but there's so many plans out there, and there's so many ways to get screwed, and I think that's what we're talking about. So for Mickey, she's explaining what her insurance is, and she moved over to it, and she's happy. And then now Shawn can go to something what Mickey explained in the chat, a scan classic, and it might not work for you, Shawn, right?
yeah, I'm not sure. If you don't mind, Mickey, is Scan Classic, is that one of the Medicare Advantage plans? Because Scan was actually where I had my Advantage, the Medicare Part C through also, but they have a ton of different plans.
Yeah.
They have all
And I
these different ones for different coverages.
Yeah, and I think here Mickey said, I have a Scam Classic. It's an HMO. However, that's what I use to and have a great coverage. Even with all my wound vac supplies in 2025, they will even offer more benefits. So it works for her what's going on now. And here's the biggest thing with your Advantage plans that are that Shawn you got yourself into. Every year you can go change.
Yeah,
You can change. So there's something called, and I just recently learned about this maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And here's the classic. What I heard, and I stuck to my guns. Um, don't go on any plan. Just stay with your straight Medicare.
that's what
Or
I've been
yeah,
also
that's what
told
I
now.
learned, and
Yeah.
I never deviated from it, and I still have it. But now what I have to do is I have to pay for my secondary, for
Okay.
my extra coverage of my 20%, so I can stay on like a PPO plan.
Okay. So I'm Medi. I have Medicare as my
Right.
primary, Medi-Cal as my secondary. And since moving out here, so I've also been in 3 counties for that. Started in Ventura County, went to LA County, down to San Bernardino County and had to re-register for each, different plan and different one.
Pain
Orange
in the
County is
butt.
the only one I haven't done so far in SoCal. I haven't come to you.
Come
But
on in. The water's warm.
but I can say that out here, the Medi-Cal a lot of times does have like different plans you can offer through different local things. Like out here, they have a Molina one, and they have one called IEHP, Inland Empire Health uh, Providers or whatever plans. And the IEHP is amazing. They pretty much cover anything and everything Medicare won't. So like out of all pocket stuff, like they cover that 20% plus whatever. So one of the reasons why I wanted to get this show on was because I also just got my Parastine supplies through insurance. Which Parastine right now, that's just so people know, it's a bowel irrigation device. That's what I used for my bowel care. It's basically it's called a transanal irrigation system, which is basically an enema system, but that's what the technical term is called. If you for insurance and all that stuff. Um, um, and Medicare won't cover that. They do not cover the system at all. They do not nothing at all. They will not do it. And the problem is if Medicare denies it, it pushes through to the secondary, which is my IEHP or my Medi-Cal or Medicaid for people in other states. Medi-Cal is just like the California version of it. Um, Typically, they will just also auto deny as well because you got the denial. If Medicare denies, they typically will deny. So you have to like actually call. You actually have to like talk to somebody, tell them like so. I was originally told I'd have to get my denial through Medicare, send the denial letter with a new like request to the Medi-Cal to get it approved. Which I ended up not even having to do because the healthcare company, Byram Healthcare, which I'll shout them out because they did pretty much all the work for me, and they do carry the Parastine and work with Medi-Cal and Medicaid if people are interested in trying to get the system paid through insurance. They handle everything for me. They got the insurance. They got the my both prescriptions, like the denial one. They sent the denial. They did everything, and it was super easy. But it took me months of like trying to figure out who to call, calling Coloplast, trying to see who do I talk to, calling my Medicare, my Medi-Cal, both trying to figure out what do I have to do to get this approved? How do I get this done? And like it just finally I got in touch with the right company and kind of did it and put me through the system with it.
Right?
So
So it, here's the main point I think I can put for you, Shawn. It's a lot of freaking work.
that's right.
It is a lot of work. And, you know, I'm blessed that my wife is, as I mentioned, she knows a lot about insurance. And right now she's handling a lot of my parents. My mom is in a nursing home on hospice. My dad just moved to a memory care. They said, "Oh, switch the insurance," and she's been dealing with their insurance for the last 3 or 4 years now, and she's just constantly on the phone, constantly. No, this is not their address. We need to switch. And so, literally, I have a sticky note on on my desk because my dad's not verbal. My brother doesn't have time as well. He's working still. Luckily, we're retired. But I have on my desk. Oh, I was going to grab it. Dang it! Of course, when you want to grab it, but sit here, on my desk is my dad's last four digits of his phone number. I'm not going to wave it, but on here is his birthday, his phone number. So I am James Rohan every time we need to just clear up one stupid thing, like because they don't have really an address. So it's our address, but they still have somehow it still comes up. It's their old address. And my wife calls like, oh, da, 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 honey. And here and my wife is my mom and I'm my dad, sometimes, and it is just a hassle.
Oh, what happened? You muted yourself. It says Bobby.
and it's I don't know where I might have muted, but it sucks that we have to just wait on hold forever for these stupid things that you have to take care of. And like you said, Shawn, it is a job. But the thing is, you got to be on top of it, or you're not going to get what you need. And what once you do get it taken care of, and sometimes when you learn the system, it does help. And I'm sure that you and Leah have starting to
Well,
learn the.
Leah helped me a lot for sure. She actually had already had experience helping because she's done care and stuff for some, some
Mhm.
older people and things like that. That she had to help them. Same thing. Their families, like they weren't really capable. So she actually has navigated it a few times and done it and like was more familiar than I was with a lot of this stuff and what could or couldn't get approved and what we could to do. So yeah, she's kind of been the one that's been motivating me to like get on it and make these calls and try to like deal with like sitting there on hold and calling the next insurance, calling the next company, trying to figure it out and getting it going and stuff. Um,
Yeah.
so,
And
yeah,
Mickey's, and some of these plans, especially if you're on a Medi plan, Medicare or Medicaid, um, you know, California has to be their own little stupid, Medi-Cal, but everywhere else it's Medicaid.
yeah,
But when you're on these Medi programs, everything is a pre-approval prescription. Oh, you got to get, you need a surgery, you got to get it pre-approved. Um, and sometimes it can be annoying, and you got to be on it, and you have to be on it with the people who really want to do the work on you. Meaning, so like if Mickey needed that pump, and the company's like, okay, yeah, we can get it, and that nurse says she has to have it, she's got to be on it with them to say, make sure you're telling my insurance, let's get this going, or this is, I'm going to get worse, you know, and they, you know, and Shawn, I'm not a big political person, but we're already having the news right now in the United States that somebody from an insurance, a CEO of United Healthcare
yeah.
was killed in broad daylight.
And yeah, and the thing about that too is what we were actually just talking about that the other night. It's so crazy how so many people like on the internet in the world, people just seem so unempathetic. Like people do not like have any sympathy for this
Yeah,
man.
they're like
Like
they're happy for this guy killing a guy
like
in a broad. It's
which
like,
is crazy.
yeah,
Like
you're like, no, that is not
it,
justice. That
the
is just.
insur yeah, insurances suck, and that I'm
I'm
sure
sorry,
that
yeah,
guy was maybe not the best, whatever, but like
that's not the way to solve
that's
something.
not how, yeah, we need to be like living living life in this
Yeah,
day and age. Like that's just not right. Yeah. So I think that is kind of crazy, but that shows you how fed up with insurances people really are, like, and dealing with
it
it
does.
and going through and like it's just such a
Yeah,
struggle. Like, and that's what even like the Parastine stuff is so cool to finally be getting and going. But the other thing I also finally just started getting this year is my Eurocare leg bags through insurance. Like
again,
I've bought those out of pocket the last 20 years. I've
yeah.
literally bought and I can't afford to buy like one a month or whatever. I would buy pretty much two a year because it was about $100 a bag with the bag, the strap, and the valve. It comes out to about $100 a bag. So I'd spend $200 a year on bags, like, and basically do like 6 months at a time, clean them thoroughly, and just
Yeah.
like, and luckily, like, Leo's really good at cleaning them. I have had in the past caregivers that just weren't as good at cleaning them, doing kind of a real quick half-ass
Yeah,
rinse, and
half-assed,
then
yeah.
you would definitely be able to tell now looking at thinking like the bag like still looks clear. I'm like, oh, why isn't there all that weird crust that's forming in there
Mhm.
now?
Yeah,
So that's good. But to finally be starting to get those through insurance is just amazing for me. Like something I've literally paid for out of pocket my entire almost 20 years of being
wow.
injured. Um, and yeah, that it just is like,
Well, I would have never turned you onto that leg bag if I knew you were going to have to pay.
well, I on and well for me, it was worth it for me because I could empty that bag myself. I could change that bag from bedside to leg bag. I could get it on my leg. Like I developed, like if I strapped the strap first when I was in bed, I could just slide the strap up and over my leg, get it on my leg myself. I could like it made it so that I could be entirely independent if I needed to with the bag and getting up, like without having to do bowel care or anything. I could do that. So I appreciate it. I love that bag, and I've sold countless quads and others like you've told me.
No, I know you and
Like
I should get some kind of little finder's fee from those guys
I
for
know
how
that's
many.
what we need is a sponsorship from the Eurocare company.
Yeah, damn it. You're okay if you're listening. Come on, get your ass up.
And I have
And
gotten so Andrew a few years back knew that I was buying them out of pocket, and one of my bags I had been using for a long time, popped like a little hole while we were at an event. And I was like, it literally had like this little tiny pinhole in it, and so like if I kept it folded one way, it would like kind of seal it in there. But like Andrew was like, dude, I'll give you some leg bags, and he gave me a couple leg bags, like because he was getting them through insurance. And
you
like
should have
he
called
just
me.
felt bad for him. And I didn't realize you had a stockpile of them either. But like Andrew always said, like, oh yeah, I've got a bunch of those. Don't worry. So like I knew people were getting them through insurance. I just couldn't seem to figure out like and what it is. I'll be honest with those. A lot of the medical supply companies don't carry that bag, especially the bigger companies like the
Yeah.
ABC Medical, the Shield Medical, like those like big national companies don't carry the Eurocare brand. You have to go to a little bit smaller of a company.
Well,
Um,
what they have to do. Well, no, and I beg to differ only in the sense, and this is where you just demand it. You're like, no, this is like you can order it. Get on your freaking computer and order it. I used to be with ABC Medical a long time ago, so and I made them do it. They're like, oh, we don't carry that brand. I'm like, no, I carry that brand. That's what I use.
really,
Yeah, I have my independence. Yeah, and they're like, okay. I'm like, you're ordering this. This is what you're ordering, or I'm going to another company because I just signed on with you guys. So you want my business? And they're like, okay, yeah,
I
we'll
guess I
order it.
should have tried that. Yeah, because ABC Medical was who I first got through my urologist, got set up with, and then they sent some like barred bags that I just was like, I can't really independently use that, especially with shorts, and just couldn't do it. So I did end up switching to Anthony's company. Actually, you were the one let me know that yeah, Anthony's company was doing it, and then their company got bought by another medical supply company, a slightly bigger one, which Anthony still works for and was able to set me up with. So it
Okay.
worked out. It all worked out well for now. Yeah. So I've started to get like a few months now. I've been getting them now. So it's
And Paul, our friend from Canada up north, who snowed in today. What's up, Paul? He has been on our show and has told us about like trying to get into the doctors is really tough. Paul, really, if you can take a moment in the chat, do you have problems with your supplies? Because um, two things when we think about our insurances, we think about what doctors and procedures we can get, meaning, get to, can we go to and get this medical procedure that we might need, meaning go to your urologist and getting your bladder scope. And
Mhm.
can you use your urologist that you're comfortable with? And then the second thing is, what supplies can I get? What urological supplies can I get? And what kind of wheelchairs I can get? Mickey said it best. You have to go and get a freaking wheelchair brake approval. Her brake is broken. She's trying to transfer, and they have to do an approval to get
Yeah.
her brake repaired or replaced. And here she is, like, okay, send it in, blah blah blah. Mickey does the transfer, and let's just say Mickey breaks a femur and a hip. Now, how much is that going to cost you? And I'm sure, man, Tom, I hope you're better. Tom would be like livid right now. I know Tom. Tom has a frustrating, deal with his insurances as well. Finding those things. It is just one of those things. So it can be frustrating. You got to be on top of your equipment. You have to be on top of your supplies. You have to like do not wait until your tires are at it, showing thread. Do not wait until your brake is on its last nut. Make sure you take care of your do not wait until you're on your last catheter and said, I better order some more catheters. No, do what you can to hold at bay by staying on top of it. Never, I always tell my wife when she goes, no, you got enough of those. Don't order that. I'm like, no, I order everything, no matter what. I want this. I want the extras because maybe one day I might not get them.
Well, that's exactly, yeah, and that's where Leah's really helped me to get to that like mindset of like, no, get this through insurance. Like, you need to be getting your supplies, getting things like have a stockpile, have a some stuff that you can rely on in an emergency. Um, and yeah, that's what's been. I've literally been kind of like at the end of my medical supplies constantly. Um, and Ken, you asked if you can show one of the leg bags on camera. I don't know
I'm
if that's
looking
what.
for it, Shawn.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I actually can just I have their website. I
You
just pulled
have it,
open
Shawn. Yeah, mine's buried down in my stock supply.
here. I'll just show. I can pull a picture up real quick. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, if you have the picture there. Oh, cool. Yeah.
So that's what
Is
the
that
bag
the
looks
one?
like. They make multiple sizes and styles. This is the left sport large bag. So, because they make one for the right leg, the left leg. This one is made to be worn on your thigh above your knee. And that's why Bobby turned it on to me and why I've told so many other quads. They have a quick release valve that you can put a ring in. So you can literally just loop your thumb into it, pop the valve open, and it's like on your thigh. So you don't have to reach to your ankle. You don't have to lift your leg up and put it on the toilet like rim. Nothing like that. You just
So
have it
yeah,
right on the side of your leg. Very quick and easy to access. And yeah,
and if you really look on this picture that Shawn has blown up on if you're staring at your screen, hopefully it's on your left side, is that quick release that Shawn is talking about,
the
where
bottom
it's got a
one.
little hole and you can put a ring in there, and because it doesn't come with a ring, you have to, use a key ring. I usually go to Home Depot and buy a bunch of them, but that is what you're going to put on. So you, at the very tip, you take off that tip cap and then put it on. So look on eurocare.com. I'm sure they have a website and you can find, like Shawn said, many different sizes. This is if you want to wear shorts. And do you use this one, Shawn?
Yeah, that's the
That
one.
wow, that is huge. I don't
And
have a big enough leg for that one.
you
I
use the
use
small one.
I use the skinny. Yeah, I got to pee more times, but
So I was gonna say I think this one is like 16
no,
ounces,
that's
and I
not.
think
No, the one I have is 16, I think.
okay, then mine must be the. Let me. I'll
Or
check it.
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe sometimes when I think it's full and yeah, no,
No, it
I
is
feel
16. Yours is only a 10.
12,
10 fluid
10 or
ounces.
12. Yeah.
Yours is 10 and mine's a 16 fluid ounces. And they
There.
make huge ones like um I wonder if I can just do this. Never mind. I was trying to get the whole gambit of them. But they have a whole bunch of different ones. These are the ones that are, like I said, made to be worn on your thigh. They have a bunch of other like standard sort of oval shaped ones that are made for being worn on your calf if you want a bigger bag. They go up to
Mhm.
32 ounces on those. So actually no, they have a extra. They have a 44-ounce one
Yeah,
actually.
they have one that on your leg you can get a huge one. And if you look behind this leg bag, there's like you can kind of see it, but there's a booklet that comes with every one, that you can see all the different products they leg bag sizes for wearing shorts or wearing it down to your on your leg. So and Ken, it's funny. It's I know you use that automatic um, leg bag opener. I don't know. It'd have to be something to ask the company if that's what they do. So if that can be worked with your automatic one.
Yeah. Because Ken has a really cool system that he did. Yeah, like he said, he designed it himself, and I've seen it. It's a really cool like thing. He just has a little switch on his power chair, and his leg bag's down. It drains like below his foot, off his back of his heel, basically, down below the chair. So he'll just pull off into some grass, flip his switch, pee in the grass.
I love
Nobody, yeah, just leave a little puddle behind there and take off. um, so yeah,
it.
Ken's system is really cool. If you guys are looking for something like
And
that, the automated systems.
and we were just asked how long you get out of that leg bag. Shawn used to get 6 months if you take care of it right. I try to get, and I think my, because I have a stockpile and I have the old ones up front. I'm getting maybe a month, but I know I can throw it away. But if I really wanted to, I can get 2 to 3 months. If you're
Yeah,
really cleaning it with vinegar and water, like I do, it really works. You know, it, it
that's
it it can last a long time.
as long as you have somebody that is cleaning it, and like agitating the inside of the bag so that you're not getting any. Like for me, I have a lot of sediment. Like so, there'll be like the little sediment crystals start to line the inside of the bag if you don't rinse it out real good. Um, so that's one thing that like literally like Leah can hold up the leg bag. Like the one I've had on, don't have it on today because I got my catheter changed today, so I have the bed bag um, on right now. But because that's I also don't do the leg bag on the days I get my catheter change. It's just more stress on the bladder because it's this bag is very free flowing. The gravity works a lot better. The leg bag on my thigh, and it has a really cool anti reflex valve, uh, which allows liquid only going to one direction. It only goes in the bag. It doesn't allow it to come back out. But I do feel like that slight restriction, like, does also like when I have bladders freshly changed, it doesn't feel that good. So,
Mhm.
um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
and
there's if you hold mine up, I was gonna say there you can see right through it still. There's no crystal sediment in there, and it's been over a month now we've been using it.
yeah, yeah. We're pretty good about ours. Um, I don't know where I was going to go with that, but there's two different styles. There's one that you can wear on top of your thigh, which a handful of us guys out here do, and then the ones that you can have strapped to your leg, and where somebody's going to have to lean down and either empty it for you, or if you can lean down if you're next to some grass and open it up, or get your foot up on top of a toilet, which when I used to work, that's what I had to do because I had to wear slacks for a long time and I didn't modify my slacks. So, Shawn, I don't know if you want to talk about that. And we're kind of getting out of that insurance, going with this kind of equipment that you can get, but it does make sense. So, um, wearing these leg bags, you can have it up on your thigh where you can empty it just as easily as if it's down on your lower leg. And what's nice about that is you are independent. The thing is, you just have to take your pants in and get it modified. And I don't know if you want to show anything. I think you're searching.
I
For,
was real quick, but
yeah.
let's try to.
But so what we're talking about is, and I can show it. So up here is where that leg bag sits. Mine is right here. I wear long underwear. I have jockey underwear that are 13 inches long. And so what we're talking about is that leg bag sits right here. And this is what we're talking about, getting this out.
Got your fake wiener out. That's a Kyle.
Get the fake wiener out. It's right here. And you're next to a toilet. Well, if
Yep.
you're wearing long pants, I don't have that access, right?
So that's one thing that actually I did a couple years ago, and but I only had like one pair of pants, and now this last year Leah made me multiple pants. But what I have done now for long pants is I actually go in and get the side seam. I'll have that seam opened up and then a zipper added onto the side seam on my thigh. So all I have to do is unzip the side. Like I have a little zipper on the side of my leg. It unzips and I have access right in there to the leg bag to where it's up on my thigh. So I actually can wear pants now all winter long, um, and you can't see any part of the bag. Yeah, it's all just in there. You just see the little tiny zipper ring hang I have off the side, and it's pretty and not noticeable. You know, it's not really there. See, one thing you if you're gonna do that, use the side seam. Not to talk shit, but our friend Andrew, who I just mentioned, gave me those couple bags. The founder of Triumph, he does the same thing, but he takes them to like a tailor and they slice a hole in his pants. So there's just a zipper on the leg, which looks way weird and awkward. And I don't think it's as easy.
Hmm.
Just do the
Yeah.
inseam, just do the side seam.
Getting to the chat, one thing is Stabit said we use bleach every 2 days. Try vinegar. It's not going to be as, yes, it's not as strong, but the thing about bleach, it's actually too strong. So vinegar is a little bit easier on some of that plastic or rubbery material. And then also, Jay, you said struggling with your catheter plugging. I know the feeling, dude. I'm right with you. I've been trying everything too. I've been plugging lately, and I've had my catheter, it's the suprapubic, for almost 35 years now. And um, yeah, I'm not. I'm trying everything and then stopping everything, and I just can't figure it out. Um, so something to think about, Jay. Just trying to I and I'd be curious to see what size of um, the catheter you use. I'm a
That's what
20.
I was just gonna ask. Hey Jay,
Yeah,
what size catheter do you use?
yeah. I'm a 20 and Sean's a 24. I
Yeah.
just ordered a 22 to see and maybe try if that will go inside myself and see if that might help with some of that. It might.
No, that's the reason why I kept kind of getting bigger and bigger was because I was having more and more issues with sediment and clogging and the catheter getting blocked up. And I also had switched from like every month to every 3 weeks, and now I do every 2 weeks right now. So like basically every other week, I'm changing the catheter. Um, that wasn't because of clogging right now. That was because I was getting the catheter was becoming stuck in my bladder, and when I would pull it out after the 3 weeks, it would be very stuck and then bleed when it came out like quite a bit. So if I do the 2 weeks, like we got it out today, it
Wow.
needs
Wow.
like almost not
Wow.
stuck at all. Oh, it's
Wow. I'm
16.
sorry, Sean. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but Jay,
Yeah,
16
16
is,
small.
oh my God. Yeah, no wonder why you're plugging Jay. Jay, that is way too small for a super pivot. Way too small. I'm sorry. And they don't want me to move up. Ask them why. Like, I know, and just say there's all of us here that we know around here. Like Ken just said, I'm 22. Um, Mickey, put what you are. I'd love to hear it. And I'm 20. Sean's 24. Why won't they let you move up? Is
Yeah,
crazy.
that seems like you would want to be up because yeah, that's pretty small for like a long-term suprapubic catheter to have like yeah, that because you're gonna
And
have sediment. You're gonna have
Olivia, yeah, Olivia, let us know what size you use. You have to say, Jay, people in California way different, and you would be so much happier if you went to start going to a 20, not even 18, go to a 20. You know,
girth. Yeah.
or, yeah. Hey, baby, you know about us guys.
But yeah, the bigger catheter does help. And then yeah, Leon in the chat uses a 22. I feel like most quads use at least about that 20. That
Yeah,
20
20
22
to
is kind of
24.
average. I feel like. Oh wow, Black Olive's also
No,
16.
come on, Olivia.
Olivia is
But
also
you're
the
a
16, so
woman,
that's
no.
smaller. Yeah,
I,
but
I but it's not it's going through the same way. Everybody has the same opening. Women use a lot smaller size catheter in general when they're just cathing.
oh, for urethra, like
Yeah,
yeah.
when you're going through the urethra, obviously you're using a smaller catheter. But for the type, Olivia, so if you're having issues, you might want to, you know, to switch a little up a little bit of size. Talk to your urologist and just say, hey, I'm hearing more users, and maybe look on the internet where you can find more people to back up your theory to show to your urologist. Jay, is that they said they don't want to stretch out the hole, that the inside isn't much bigger. It's an odd thing to say, but I don't know. It will stretch out, what you're going to use is not, I'd be surprised though. So you're using a 16 French. What is the balloon size? Because on those are two different balloon size. One is a 5 cc, which still holds in the catheter just fine. And then there's a 30
30,
cc,
which
which is, so my buddy Shawn, or no, not your Shawn, my buddy Ryan, who has one, he was having problems and he couldn't understand why. He did not realize he got a batch of the size of French size. I think he's a 22 or 24, and he had a 30 balloon. And what happened is they were only putting 10 cc's or 5 cc's into his balloon, but
right.
it's a 30 balloon. So it's got all this extra rubber, and all of the sediment was holding on to this extra rubber. When they finally went in and scanned his bladder, they're like, oh my gosh, you have all this extra rubber. Why do you have a balloon size so big? Yeah, Ken is 30. Oh my gosh, Ken.
Yeah, that's
That
crazy.
would
Yeah,
become my
I
whole
could not
bladder right
do.
there.
Yeah, I couldn't do the even also the 30 just overall balloon size in general, like the length of the catheter that needs to be in your body, I think is slightly longer because the balloon is not only blows out wider but also blows up, like it's larger all around. Like it's a bigger circle. It's not an oval. It's like a big circle. So like
Mhm.
it yeah, it doesn't fit in my bladder. So
No way at 30. Yeah. Yeah. Ken, I salute you on 30. If you're using that, good job. But I find that 5 is just, even that, I'm like at sometimes 3 or 4, and I'm like, okay, stop. Don't put any more. I want,
I do out of the 10 mil balloon, it'll fill the 5 cc's. It does the 10 milliliters. I do 8 in mine.
okay.
But I notice that I lose water in the balloon. Like today, we filled it at 8 2 weeks ago. We emptied 6 today when I changed the catheter. So I
Oh, yeah.
lost 2
It's
mil.
a,
So
yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's what I am trying to also on the week in between add 1 or 2 milliliters of water back into the balloon, like just so that it stays kind of at that steady size for me and doesn't get too small. Because I've noticed when it's too small, I do feel like I have more discomfort. Like I don't know if it's moving around, wiggling in there more or something. Like
Mm.
I don't know, but
It's a good theory. I've
so
never thought.
that's yeah. So that's one thing that I try to do. So that's what this time we didn't do it because the time before we did it, we put 2 and there was 8.5 when we emptied it. So like I was like, oh, we actually probably do 1.5. So I'm trying just to figure out how much on average it's gonna lose like week to week, basically.
Mhm. Yeah.
But yeah, and then Stabbit had asked like for intermittent cathing what to use, and Paul answered he uses a 14 for in and out, and I think that's pretty standard, like that 14 up to 16 maybe
Yeah.
is standard
I
for
think
catheters.
women are 10, 10 or 8, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah,
we'd have to ask our women expert. I don't know if Mickey, if you or Olivia have ever cath, but it's around that. So wow.
yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah, Jay
we
says he
we
uses
might have to
5.
do a show on this, Shawn.
Yeah, we should just do a full show on this, and we did
Yeah,
get, I guess, a little bit sidetracked when talking about the,
which is fine. Which
but
is fine. We kind of
that's what I
knew, and
said. Yeah,
we
that's
have
kind
to
of
wrap up here soon. And um, this is just such a great, unique topic of how different we all are. And I know a guy who flushes every day. He's got a 24 friend. He just miserable when it comes to his, and I feel bad. It just he can't. It's hard to get right. So, Paul said 12.
or what women use most
Yeah,
often,
12 fridge. I
commonly use.
think
Yeah.
it was going to put the FR there. So I thought it was a little bit smaller, but you're probably right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's his
Yeah,
important, good information, and we will probably try to maybe do another
yeah. Just on
show.
the Supra, Jay said I fill mine 5 and usually get 3 out. That's same here, and that's a good thought. Maybe Jay and if I'm correctly, you're the one that said earlier you were clogging. Maybe that's my issue too. Maybe we need to add a little bit of a CC or two after a few days.
Yeah, I mean, maybe try it and see if it helps. I feel like it has. When we've done it, I feel like my bladder overall feels a little bit better as far as like any AD or anything. Because typically, every time I transfer or move kind of funny, sometimes I will get like a little twinge of AD, like a little, just a very quick, like, oh, something might have bumped or in there, or something. And I feel like I get less of that if I keep the balloon.
Have has your and I this is probably just going to take this off the top. I mean, way overboard and way over time. But have you ever had it pull out on you?
Okay, so I actually uploaded a video one time I told the story. One time I have done that. So,
Okay.
in the middle of the night, early on, it was a few years into my injury. Like, so I'm sure, like you and like a lot of quads, if you're trying to adjust sheets or anything in the bed, you can't grasp the sheet. You gotta like wrap like I'll wrap a little bit of the sheet around my hand and like yank, like pull if it's stuck under my foot or leg. So I did that one night, not realizing that I also had wrapped up the catheter tube into my hand. So I went boom and yanked it back and yanked the sheet out and just ripped the catheter tube out. I didn't notice at the time. I thought it felt weird. I was like, what the hell is that? Whatever. And I went to lay and I was starting to sleep and I like lifted the cover a little bit and I saw the balloon laying on my bed, like right in front of me. And I was like, oh shit. So I tried to call my dad. He was sleeping because it was early on before he passed. And I ended up calling my brother Jeff, who had been out drinking earlier than I was probably half still intoxicated. But he came down at like 3:30 in the morning, and I walked him through putting a new one in, and we put a new catheter in the middle of the night because I didn't want to go to the ER, and
Yeah.
it worked out. So
Yeah.
that was my
Dude.
one time. Have you done it before?
Um, it popped out once and believe it or not, on a vacation where it just like plopped out. Like it was the weirdest thing. The balloon was still filled. But I had been going through like a bad UTI just previously. So, it was just like, oh, oh crap. It just kind of fell out on its own. I don't know if it was incorrect. It was this an odd thing. So it happened. I never yanked it out. I yanked on it, like you said in those situation, or where I grab something. You're in bed and you just also went like this, and you're like, oh man, ooh, where you get that because you pull up on your bladder. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
I felt that one.
Yeah.
I have no feeling, but I know something just happened.
Yeah. No, I've gotten that before, and that's what. And since that incident, I am so cautious at night. I always make sure I feel where the catheter tube is because like I can feel in my wrist here pretty well. This side's like I can feel where the tube is. I'm like, okay, I got it. It's right there. I'll slide it, make sure it's there before I grab anything else and try to pull or move, just because I will not do that to myself again.
Or you have the classic one, like I've done maybe.
Or just yeah, falls.
I've had 4 or 5 times. Oh
Really?
man,
Maybe
I've
it's the
had
smaller
no, not
balloon.
that. I've
Oh,
had where in the middle of the night I wake up and I'm going, I gotta piss so bad. My catheter is plugged. Oh crap! Oh crap! I pulled the sheets off. Oh crap! Fell asleep before I put on my night bag.
ha.
I don't know if you've ever had that. So
um, I I have a
yeah, you
terrible
have,
story with that.
Shawn. Yeah, you
While
have. I
while
know you. Say how many
while
times you. Yeah.
while drinking, was in a hotel room. That was in my earlier, younger dumber party days. I got into the bed. I guess I don't know if I didn't care, I didn't think about it, but I hopped into bed and I woke up with AD in the middle of the night, like, what the fuck is going on? And went to feel like that thing was maxed out like to no end, and yeah, that's a. But usually I usually do because I change mine if I'm doing it on my own. I change it before I get into the bed, and then if Leah helps me, she'll help me in the bed. But so usually like once I get into the bed, if we haven't changed it, like she
Yeah.
changes it now. So
There's been a time we're in our routine, we're getting everything ready, and have just how did we not think of it? Um, it has happened to me, maybe a few times. Peace air. I almost say I want to say yes to that question. Debit. Um, I want to say my first
I
piss in the morning, I pee in it, but I think it's more my leg bag
that's
than
what
anything.
the leg bag can get air in it, and I noticed
Yeah,
that. Like again,
I'm
Leah
pretty
is really good about she'll open the valve once it's like hooked and kind of push the air out and then close it and like help me get that out. But before that, when I used to just do them on my own, that first empty would always be like half air because the air was already in there. Yeah, you get the yeah, like
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
But anyways, all right, I guess we're gonna have to definitely do a whole show on this stuff.
yeah.
And honestly, these next couple weeks are gonna be a little bit more open forum, casual conversation. So
The
you guys
holidays.
want to bring it back up or talk about it, just let me know in the chat. And it's definitely something that Bobby and I are comfortable and easy to talk about. And um, so, and you've
And
had,
Leon just said it best. So we need to wrap up because it's starting to creep up on me where that headache's going to come in. So um, let's make sure we wrap up here because I know you have to go, Shawn, and
yeah,
we got some sponsors to thank because without them and at the end of the year, let's make sure we thank them because at the beginning of the year we want them to support us, and that's mobility professionals and urology professionals. Always remember if you're here in the Southern California area and you want to use mobility professionals to get your urology supplies and your wheelchair needs, call them up, see if they take your insurance. If they don't take it, ask them, like, if I was on this certain plan talking about insurances today, what do they take? And maybe they can help you out. That goes for urology professionals if you're in another state and like Leon is in another state, maybe calling them up and say, what plan, if I switch to on my Medicare plan Advantage, is there something you will take? So ask them out. It's always great to know. Mobility professionals, urology professionals, thank you for your support.
yeah, we do appreciate them. And I actually just had David, one of their reps, was literally that's why I was a couple minutes late getting on here. I was getting new frog legs and a new cushion put on my chair, and he
I,
even gave me they just I had a slow leak in one of my tires. So I mentioned I was like, "Can I buy a tube? Do you have one?" He's like, "Oh, don't worry about it." He changed it for me and gave me an extra tube just to keep for myself. So that's what I'm talking like that's just they
excellent.
are good people and they do help you out. So they just took care of me right now. My chair's rocking and rolling again. So
Yeah,
um but yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate you guys. And come back again on Thursday.
we're going to
Bobby
be,
hanging out with Robert and Luis, doing a little rolling over the hill, talking about aging with the disability. And then we'll be back again next Tuesday with another show. So definitely tune back in, check us out, subscribe if you're not subscribed, click the bell so you get notifications.
ding, ding.
And yeah, we definitely appreciate all you guys watching, supporting. Um, couldn't do it without you guys, wouldn't do it without you guys. So thank you guys for being here to support us and let us know. Oh yeah, and thanks. Yeah, wishes to Tom. Hopefully he's feeling better. Yeah, did have a little bit of health things this morning, so thinking about him, and he should be back hopefully for next week. But
Yeah.
all right, you guys. Thanks everyone again, and we will see you next week. Live to roll,
Live to
everyone.
roll. Live to roll. Live to roll.